Welcome back to the pop culture discussion. I am your host Robert, and today we are talking about Marvel's Spider-Man 3. With the epic story of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 wrapped up recently, it's time to look to the future for what comes next for our favorite web swinger and wall crawlers. After a handful of cliffhangers and speculation, crafting exciting build-ups towards the next chapter in Spider-Man's story, let's count down the top 10 things that we could come to expect in Marvel's Spider-Man 3 or future DLCs. Now, this is my own personal list of story, character, and gameplay ideas that look like they could get put in the Spider-Man games moving forward. I'm going to start with the least likely to happen and build my way up to the higher certainties of the final choices on my list. I could be off with a few of these, so if you disagree with my earlier picks, just stick with me for the final few. Starting off the list at number 10 with a 25% chance of happening is two-player co-op. Either online or split-screen multiplayer could be an insanely epic surprise to these games, considering how single-player based the current Spider-Man games are. Plus, the biggest way they enhance the Spider-Man, Peter and Miles team-up sequences from Spider-Man 2 is another player in multiplayer, and this series is constantly trying to enhance itself. I know Insomniac have always heavily stated Spider-Man on being a single-player game, but giving the players a multiplayer option would easily be the biggest shock to the system this series has ever had, and could give multiplayer exclusive players a chance to check these games out. Up next at number 9 with a 30% chance of happening is the death of Mary Jane. With Peter strongly hinting at his retirement of being Spider-Man and starting a full-time life as only Peter Parker with Mary Jane Watson at the end of Spider-Man 2, it could take the death of MJ to bring him back as a full-time Spider-Man. This would also be an absolutely shocking way to up the stakes for Spider-Man 3. As we all know, not even main characters are safe from death in the Insomniac Spider-Man universe. Plus, having to play as MJ in these games absolutely made us more attached to her character, so killing her off could hit as hard as the death of Aunt May at the end of Spider-Man 2018. And on a positive side, this could mean no more MJ missions for all those people that still hate every single time you have to play as her in these games. Coming in at number 8 with a 40% chance of happening, the Spiderverse with Silk. With the Spiderverse bot mission leaning towards this, Insomniac's Spider-Man being in Across the Spider-Verse and Cindy Moon being introduced at the very end of Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Verse could very well have a chance of happening. Cindy Moon's Silk version of Spider-Woman is also heavily linked to the Spider-Verse in the comics. Even though her introduction is different in the game, this could still happen. They've already done multiple mind-bending missions with Mr. Negative and Mysterio, so the multiverse is very possible, as mind-bending and multiverse concepts are very similar from a game design point of view. Plus, if multiplayer is off the table, imagine playing as 3 or 4 multiple Spider-People in the next game, with Peter, Miles, Cindy, and possibly Spider-Gwen joining the mix. Number 7 with a 50% chance of happening, an Avengers or Fantastic Four team up. We've already got a strong reference to Doctor Strange and Wong in Spider-Man 2, and the Avengers Tower has just been chilling in New York for 3 games now, not to mention the Fantastic Four Tower that was under construction in Spider-Man 2. If they want to up the massive scale of Spider-Man 2, an Avengers or Fantastic Four team-up would be the perfect way to do so. If the Avengers didn't think the takeover of a symbiote army over New York City wasn't enough of a threat to help Spidey, surely a higher threat level in the sequel would be. We've got a lot of world building towards other popular superheroes in the Spider-Man games, so a big superhero team up with Spidey is definitely overdue, especially considering how active Spider-Man is with these heroes in the comics. Coming in at number 6 with a 60% chance of happening is an X-Men, Wolverine, or Deadpool team up. With a Wolverine game in the works as Insomniac's next project, we could very easily see these two superheroes teaming up in the next Spider-Man game. Plus, Yuri Lowenthal wants Deadpool in the next game if he can get his say past the writers. So could we get a heavily based X-Men story in the next Spider-Man? If Insomniac want to combine these worlds and build an MCU type universe, this is absolutely very possible. Spider-Man has some incredible chemistry with both Wolverine and Deadpool in the comics, so Insomniac have some amazing source material to build from and give us some next level world building in this universe. Up next at number 5, with a 70% chance of happening, Chameleon's Revenge. With Kraven dead at the hands of Venom, will Chameleon return in an attempt to kill Venom and avenge his brother, or will he still be hunting Miles after their brief encounter in Spider-Man 2? This definitely feels like a side story for a DLC or for the third game, but either way it would be great to get a bit more closure on this character. Until the Chameleon is back behind bars, I feel like Insomniac definitely have more story to tell involving his character. And up at number 4, with an 80% chance of happening, Venom in the open world. Either in a DLC, Spider-Man 3, or his own spin-off game to Spider-Man 2, this could absolutely happen. Insomniac have already said they're interested in a Venom game if Spider-Man 2 sells well and if the fans are keen, and Spider-Man 2 has been selling extremely well and the fans are absolutely keen. Spider-Man 2 is a great introduction to playing as the character, and they could very easily expand on his gameplay, having him fly through New York City causing havoc. I don't think he would work as well as an anti-hero considering the amount of chaos that he caused in Spider-Man 2, but as a savage villain game and something more along the lines of Prototype, this could absolutely be a blast to play. And in number 3, with a 90% chance of happening, the return of Dr. Octopus and possibly another Sinister Six. Dr. Octopus is absolutely coming back in Spider-Man 3, there's no doubt about that. But will he be by himself or with a new Sinister Six, as most of the original crew are all dead now thanks to Kraven and his crew? Could we see another team of classic Spider-Man villains try to team up to take out both Spider-Mans, or even a superior Spider-Man takeover from Doc Ock, setting up another Miles versus Peter fight? Either way, Dr. Octopus is absolutely returning for one last shot at taking down Spider-Man, and after his fantastic boss fight at the end of Spider-Man 2018, I cannot wait to see what Insomniac have planned. Coming in at number 2, with a 95% chance of happening, Carnage. We got that Carnage setup reveal in Spider-Man 2 with Cletus Cassidy getting his hands on the symbiote, so we absolutely know he is returning in some DLC for Spider-Man 2 or in full Carnage mode in Spider-Man 3. Not to mention, he is already absolutely insane and super dangerous with an army of goons ready to take over the city before he even puts the symbiote suit on. Will this mean the death of Yuri Watanabe as Wraith? Because that would absolutely give Carnage a hell of an entrance if he took her out as his first evil deed in the red suit. If Insomniac want to wrap up the symbiote storylines before starting Spider-Man 3, I could definitely see Carnage leaning towards being the major villain for Spider-Man 2's DLC. And coming in at number 1 at 100% is the Green Goblin. By the end of Spider-Man 2, Norman Osborn is out for revenge on Spider-Man, and it's the perfect time to give the fans the Green Goblin. I feel like this universe might give us the ultimate version of the Green Goblin that has more of a giant Hulk-like goblin aesthetic instead of going with the super soldier serum and the green armor, as that's just the vibes that I get from what's already set up. But honestly, I'd be happy with either version of the character, and we definitely have to get that glider. Insomniac also like to do changes to Spider-Man characters, so that could open the story for Norman Osborn to kill MJ instead of Gwen in this universe, wrapping back up to my second point on the list, and to bring Spider-Man back for his most personal fight yet. Thank you so much for watching my Spider-Man 3 predictions video. If you have any predictions that wasn't on my list, absolutely chuck them down in the comments below so we can talk even more Spider-Man together. If you enjoyed what you saw, a like and a subscribe would be really appreciated, and I will see you all in my next video.